Hi, so this is my stop disaster game attempt. I chose the tsunami disaster on the hard difficulty, so this is my little village I'm tasked to look after. As you can see, there's a few houses there on the low-lying land, a bit of mangroves and things, a bit of rocks offshore there, a little resort built around the pool there on the low-lying areas, a few bamboo huts on the green bit there, and a little building with the blue flags is the rescue centre, like the refuge centre. And up in the north here we got a few scattered houses all on the low-lying land. We have a few primary dunes there on the side protecting nothing. So obviously the issues here is a lot of these houses are built of timber and bamboo, and they're built on the low-lying areas with not a lot of protection at all. And the resort, of course, is a death trap, given that it's built all on the lowlands, and it's all surrounding a pool with nothing really between it and the ocean, which is very nice for views and happy tourists, but of course not so great when a tsunami strikes. So this is my attempt at trying to limit the damage. So in the scenario, I think you had to put 4 hotels, 2 hospitals and 2 schools. So I've obviously placed as many structures as I could on the areas of highest elevation. I've got the hotels on the cliff side to try and capture those views to make tourists happy, and yet it's still on a reasonably high terrain, so they should be safe-ish. I've got some timber houses here which are affordable housing for the locals. They're high enough that they shouldn't need to be any stronger than timber. And I've got the hospital and school at the back on the remaining high land. As you can see, I've got some trees at the back there that weren't there. If you have a look at this previous slide, there's a few trees, but I've put in some more just to try and protect that surge. I've trusted the mangroves are going to do the job on the right hand side. Next side across, I've got rid of the resort entirely. That's a silly place for a resort, and I've surrounded all those flats on the southern side, the left hand side there, with trees. I've got a hotel and hospital and school up the back, and I also have given all of the schools it was like a school education program of what to do in an evacuation. So little cheap programs like that can, and drills and things that are, don't really cost a lot of money, can have a big impact in a disaster. So I've also given the convention centre things like sirens and evacuation signs and that kind of thing. Just simple, cheap things, given my budget wasn't very high, but can still make a difference in a disaster. Which, cheap things in a third world country is definitely good to do first. Do the cheap and effective things first before doing the expensive options. And as you can see in the furthest side, I've basically abandoned it. I've knocked down all the buildings because I didn't have the budget to try and prepare this area for a tsunami. I couldn't remove that house at the back. Wouldn't let me select it, but I did give it a red hot go. So that's my my attempt. Also, you can see that there's an early warning system. I've put an early warning system offshore during the horrible real tsunami that happened around Southeast Asia. There was a big difference to the ones that had early warning and the ones that didn't. It was night and day, and so many lives were lost. It was horrible. So I've tried to use the early warning system. I splurged on that. I thought that was a good investment. So a tsunami smashes into everything and makes a big mess and kills a few people. 40 dead, unfortunately, which is horrible, but could have been worse, or so the paper says. Up in the north, that poor old house I couldn't move got flattened. Nothing much else to see. The housing and structures I had here in the middle pretty much survived okay. As you see, there's a few trees that got flattened on my plane, but that's good, they took the brunt of it. So all the centres, the refuge centre and everything, the hospital are all okay. My school at the back got caved in somehow though. I don't know how when all the structures around it are okay, but there you go, bit of bad luck. And on the southern end of the beach here, all those mangroves and trees got flattened. A couple of houses got damaged, the hotels, the suite, but unfortunately the hospital and school at the back died, which is very sad. That's probably why I have so many dead, which is horrible, but yeah, did my best. That's my score, 56,000. Apparently that's good. I was pretty horrified by the fact that a hospital and 2 schools got destroyed, but because of the early warning, I suppose, and given the education programs and things I funded, hopefully, yeah, that's what contributed to a decent score, and hopefully less damage. Yeah, so that is my video. Thank you for watching.